Hello, welcome to the Cobra engine build. I've made some progress on the engine and I want to show you guys what it looks like now. So in my last video, I talked about installing the valve covers and I thought that was going to be pretty straightforward. But it turned out to be a little trickier than I would have imagined. You saw in the previous video how I had to install a thick intake manifold gasket. And what that did was it kind of spread the holes, the mounting holes for the valve cover a little bit. And they didn't line up. So I had to open up the holes on the valve cover. So using a cutting tool, I was able to just grind those holes out. And it was very tedious. I had to do each one a couple of times until it fit right. Then once I got the holes to all line up, I had to do some work on the baffle that was kind of interfering with the rocker stud. So got that all working. Had to trim the gasket, valve cover gasket, so that it also fit. And then if you remember, the line here, this face here was not perfect. And so what I wound up doing was putting some RTV down on the engine side, and then putting the gasket on, and then the valve cover, and then snugged it up and let the RTV set up. And so now I can take the valve cover off without an issue, and it all, you can take it on and off, and it's all looking good, and it's sealed. I ran the pump to get oil throughout the engine and checked for leaks. At least when it's on the stand here, I don't see any leaks, which is good. Topped off the oil level. There had been a bunch of oil that had spilled over the sides as I was working previously. So got the oil level right, and then was able to put in the distributor. So this is my Holley Hyperspark distributor. It's going to work in conjunction with the Sniper EFI system, so that the computer is going to be controlling the fuel injection and also the spark timing. And so there's a procedure for getting this oriented and inserted properly. So did that, and then I marked where the #1 spark plug wire is going to go, and from there I can figure out the rest of them. So that's all come together. And then, if recall, in one of the previous videos I had test fit the water pump and front drive system. So I've put that on for real now. After I clocked the alternator 180 degrees, I didn't want the positive terminal on the alternator to be right near the dipstick here. So moved that, so that should be good. On the valve covers, I also put the spark plug wire looms that I bought. Wanted to have nice and neat wires for the spark plugs rather than going over the top of the valve cover. So that's all ready to go. I have not purchased the Sniper EFI yet, so I still have to do that. But before doing that, I think what I want to do is I want to try to just fit the engine into the frame of the car, just to see how it's all going to go together, see what kind of clearances I have on the oil pan and the oil filter and drain plug, just to understand how that's all going to be fitting in the frame. So I do have the Factory 5 Cobra Mark IV frame in the garage now. So my plan is to kind of just set the engine in where it goes, and then just see what kind of clearances I have on it. So that's the next step. But the engine is really almost done. There's a few things. Hopefully this time it's going to be pretty easy from here on out, but we'll see. But yeah, wanted to show you guys where we're at. Next video, I plan to have the fuel injection system on, and I'm going to get an air cleaner that kind of matches the valve covers from the same folks. So that'll be the next thing to show you. So thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.